Welcome to Eventful Endeavors, secrets to crafting the perfect celebration. If you're planning an event and looking for useful tips from industry experts, you're in the right place. So get ready to take some notes and we'll dive right in. This is Eventful Endeavors.
All right. Hello. We are back with another episode of Eventful Endeavors. Today, we have two people for the first time ever on our podcast. We're going to be talking to Linsey and Leah, the Double Knot twins, as they're known around the Orange County area. Two wedding planners, sisters, twins that plan weddings and make things awesome on your special day. So first of all, hello, guys. Thank you for being here.
Hello. Super excited.
Cool.
To be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited too because we've not actually worked a wedding together yet, but I do want to just hear, I'm excited to talk about kind of what you guys do. So first things first, I always ask everybody, tell me your story. I mean, how did you guys get into this, especially get into it together? Like, how is that a thing? What was the story there?
Right. Yeah. We actually we had, struggled on what we want to do with our lives. We try to do different things. We try to have our own, strengths and then we actually went to college in different places, but then we came back together because we were actually very inspired by the Wedding Planner movie with J-Lo.
Nice.
I realized while watching that movie that this is so us. This is something that has all of our strengths, in there. And, our high school friends, whenever we, if we wanted to hang out, we had to plan it. If we had any sort of winter formal plans or prom plans or anything, like we had to plan it. So we were always the planners in our group of friends, and we had quite a group. So it was always a task. After that, every project and every research project or, school project revolved around the wedding planning industry. And then we launched it out of Cal State Fullerton's entrepreneurship program. I actually had students in a team working for me to help me launch my business with the entrepreneur program there. So big thanks to the Titans over there at Cal State Fullerton. And we've been going ever since. Do you want to add?
Yeah, and I got my business management degree at Cal Poly Pomona, and we came back together after our college years, we got certified, we went to the Extended University there and got our wedding planning certification, which was led by, a wedding planner that had been doing weddings for 20 or more years. And she, taught us the skill, gave us a big blank slate to start with, and we kind of edited and audited it to make it more modern and more us, and really just honed in on the process that we use, and we've made it our own, and we've been doing weddings for about 16 years since. So we're excited to call this our full time outside of being moms, and and be the experts in the industry. That's where it all started.
So I'm going to ask you this because if I worked with my siblings, either nothing would get done or we would rip each other's heads off. So what's set like that dynamic, like working together? Like, do you split things up? Like, hey, you handle contracts, I handle this, or you handle this area, I handle this. Like, do you guys have like a good system at this point that you've done?
Yeah. So it is different working with your sibling, but it's actually a really good different. Like you get to work together. We're kind of we're twins too, so we kind of have the same brain or the way we think. So we almost don't have to finish a sentence. I'm like, hey, can you get that with that? Yeah, I'm right there. I already got it. I'm already okay. Great. Like that's how it is sometimes with us, and we're on the same brainwave. But then also, people call us like she's the string and I'm the kite. Like I've got a little bit more of the creative. She runs the office, and so we kind of balance each other out like that. We work as a really, really good team actually. It's nice to have your sibling. Also, the other benefit I always say is you can kind of yell at your sibling, not yell, but you can get real with them. Like if you were. I'd be like, hey, what are you doing? And it's just my sister, not offended at all. It's just that's how we are.
Right.
And people giggle at us sometimes when we're talking to each other in a friendly, competitive way. We actually compete with each other to make each other better because we were like, oh, well, I got this better than you. Oh, mine's better than you. And that's, our competitive nature that kind of created the perfectionist in us, I guess.
True.
And we just love it. Yeah. That's us.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good, healthy competition.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody's after the same goal, so that's good.
Right, we're always on the same page to that goal.
So you guys are Orange County, right? That's where you guys are at?
Yeah, I'm in Chino though, so it's kind of on the border. Leah's in Placentia.
Sure.
So Orange County, IE, those are our stomping grounds.
And do you guys mostly work around there? Do you travel? Do you do destination weddings? Are you pretty much, as long as the client's got the budget and ready to pay for it, we'll do it? Like, what's your kind of
Right?
radius.
We like to say, if I can drive there in an hour to an hour and a half, it's our space. So LA, we've
Cool.
gone as far as, Burbank up in there. We've done down to like
San Diego.
Temecula, San Diego. We've done Murrieta up in like the Victorville area too. So anything in that range, we are game for it. If someone wants to add a little extra, I'm happy to travel, but we
Sure.
our goal is to be in our little sweet spot here. Yeah.
That's great. Do you guys is it mostly full planning? Do you guys do full, partial? What's kind of your main thing? A little bit of both?
Yeah. Our most popular package, we have 3 different packages. Our most
Sure.
popular one is our 2-month out package, because a lot of brides, they love shopping on Instagram and going to bridal shows and finding all their vendors. But once they book all their vendors, they're like, what do I do now? So that's
Right.
where we're very popular to come in on our 2-month out package, where we, can make the timeline, the floor plan, fine tune all the logistics, fill in the missing gaps, the holes, the issues, do all the confirmation calls with the vendors and walk the space and just be the expert. And then that way they kind of the vendors hand all of their issues over to us, and they go to us with any issues
Right.
and going to the bride. So it's a really great package. Everybody enjoys their day. All the experts have the assistance they need, and we're there from start to finish. We also have 2 other packages. I mean, if you want to just touch on them.
Yeah, of course, there's our we call it our princess package. That's the full planning. So that's a package that can help guide someone who wants help from the top to the bottom. I don't even know where to start type of bride, or help me find
Right.
venue. Even know, where do I go? And so we've also had couples who are like, I have never done a wedding before. I don't even think I've ever been to a wedding, so I don't even know how to start. So those are the couples that like really need the full hand holding throughout the process. And then we also have a day of package, which I like to say is reserved for our type A OCD brides who I know how to plan. I want to plan it. It's my, I'm really organized, but I just need someone there on the event day to run my plans for me. And so we have an actual like super long meeting right before their wedding, and they hand off all their plans to us, and we help run it, and using our emergency kit and all the things we have to make sure they can enjoy their day.
So with all those different packages, like how many like weddings do you guys actually do per year? Like how often are you on site? Do you do a lot? You do like, do you limit it? Like, is there like a limit? You're like, this is my capacity. I do not want to go crazy this year.
Right. Sorry, my phone's ringing at the same time.
Good.
We typically do about 25 weddings a year, give or take 10. In our early years, we would do only like 5 to 10, maybe 12. But now that we've been doing it for 16 years, we kind of squeeze in 25 to, there's sometimes 30. I think we did 32 last year, because including ceremony stuff. Some of the smaller stuff, I don't really count, but yeah.
Sure. Some of those micro weddings, you're like, those are easy.
Yeah, we do, some venues do hire us to be the rehearsal and ceremony experts, because the venue staff doesn't want to go run a rehearsal. They're like, I don't know how to run a rehearsal, so they hire us. So that's a really like an extra thing to do on a weekend we don't have booked. But generally we do more than 1 or 2 a weekend, and it has to space itself out right, because we got to be there for the rehearsal and the wedding, which is 2 days. So it's hard to book one weekend.
Gotcha. So if you do 30s, that's almost every weekend you guys are out doing the thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe seasonal too. Sometimes it's like nothing, everything, nothing.
Yep. Yeah, I know how that goes. Yeah. I get it. I'm out there every weekend for the most part as well. So I don't think I've had a free Saturday in many years. So I miss that, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So you guys have been involved in the wedding industry for 16 years, you said, yeah? Mm-hmm. So this is a fun question I like to ask. So from when you started till now, what is like some of the major differences or like trends you've seen? Like, hey, weddings used to do this. Now they don't really do that. Everybody's doing this. Like, what's like some of that shift that you've noticed? Because I've noticed it even in ever since COVID, I've noticed it. So I'm curious over that course of time, what you've seen change.
I'm all with 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I remember like candy stations, and like we didn't have photo booths. We didn't have, what was it? It was just,
we rarely had a videographer back in the initial days. Now it's like,
really?
Yeah, but now people are trying to have a lot of fun. They're doing like more like how to entertain their guests with like dancers or entertainment. We even had a Darth Vader attack a reception with some the groom.
Wait, it was the groom?
No, the bride surprised the groom by having Darth Vader attack the reception, because she wanted him to not do any Star Wars stuff. And then she was like, but I want to surprise him with the Star Wars attack. And so it actually ended up being like the spotlight of the night moment.
That's amazing.
Super surprised.
Having fun entrances of like we've had ballerinas and dancers and drummers and like the dragon dancers, and we've had all kinds of fun things that makes it entertaining. A lot of bride and grooms aren't doing the bouquet and garter toss anymore. They just want to have just over traditions and someone telling them how to do it. But they want to be themselves. So we love.
Yeah.
We like to make sure it's their event and not our event, you know?
That's something I've noticed recently too, is like, it seems like everybody's trying to do the opposite of what the traditional thing, or like somebody's trying to do something they've never seen, or maybe they saw on TikTok, like the,
Right.
just a lot of uniqueness. So every wedding, I feel like they're like, oh, we're going to do this thing. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is, but all right, we're going to do it. I did a wedding once where I had to MC a flip cup tournament on the dance floor. Like they were like, we're going to do a flip cup tournament before the dance party. And they were like, can you MC it? And I was like, sure. I've never done that. I was like, I'll figure this out. It actually ended up being really fun.
Yes.
But, and then there was beer all over the floor, and then they had to mop it up before people could dance. It was a man.
Yes, the logistics, that's where my brain is. It's like, oh my God, you have the table, cups, who's going to set it out? Who's going to clean it up? How are we going to move to the next?
They unfortunately did not have a wedding planner at their event, which, we all don't advise doing, because then I end up being in charge of things, and that's just a disaster. And they didn't think about that. So I was like, we were about to dance, and I was like, there's a puddle on the floor. This is an accident waiting to happen. So word to the wise, get a wedding planner. Speaking of which, so let me ask you this. When you say a newly engaged couple, what's your like big piece of advice, like right out the gate? You would say it to your friends, family, whoever just got engaged, like, this is what you should do first.
Yes, you're like, okay, first and foremost, I mean, everyone's like, oh, I just, go hire people. But I'm like, you can't find a venue until you know how many people you're going to have. So start writing your guest list. And then you can't go shopping venues until you know how much money you have in your bank to spend. So figure out your budget. And that might mean a really awkward conversation with mom or mother-in-law and figure out who's contributing here. And once you have that, like, guest count and budget, then you can go start going shopping. But don't pick your date yet. But yeah, and I don't know if you want to add.
Yeah, as far as first, that's the perfect first, I'd say. On like how, like, advice for your wedding planning journey, though, definitely important to hire professionals and not just any random guy or friend that you know. We like to try and avoid frienders, as we call them, friends who become vendors, because you just don't get that customer service or that professionalism that you get when you have professionals working. We have certainly noticed that when you have a good set of vendors, the wedding goes much smoothly. There's so much more fun being had, and a lot less stress and like hiccups or power failures, things like that.
Yes, you're honestly the first one I've talked to that has said that, and I've been waiting for it, because that is there's never ever been a time where it worked. Like, at least not in any wedding I've been a part of. Like, there's never been a time it worked. Something's always gone wrong because that person was like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, you hired Uncle Joe to run the bar. Like, he's been drinking since 1.
Oh my God. And he's joining the party, and all of a sudden he's not even there anymore. And you're like, why are people pouring their own drinks?
Right. Then it becomes mayhem. So that is exactly right. And that stuff is always something that irks me.
I always tell people, in the end, your family and friends, they want to celebrate you guys. They want to party. Let them do that. This is work for us. It is fun for you. So, that you can't really wear both hats. We've tried as friends doing weddings, and it's just too hard. So we'd step back and be guests, and then we get someone else to do the work. So,
and you want your friends to be guests. You want them to be guests. You don't want them to work,
Right. Yeah.
I almost did it at my wedding. I'm glad I didn't.
It's like, oh, you want to save a couple bucks, but like, then your guests are going to be sacrificing their good time, and they just want to celebrate too. So.
Right. Yeah. So now I want to get into some fun stuff, because this is what I want to get into some stories, some things you've seen. So I got 3 questions. The first one, let's start with this, because you kind of I hope you already didn't say it with the Darth Vader thing, because that's pretty unique. But what's the most unique thing you've ever seen at a wedding? Like something that stands out other than the Darth Vader, because you already touched on that. Something you've never seen before and you might never see again that was just so unique to this couple or whatever.
I think maybe it's just the nerd inside me but like this one bride entered her ceremony, like when the bride walked down the aisle to the Jurassic Park themed movie soundtrack. Oh, I was crying. I was like, this is so epic. So use your movie soundtrack. Actually, I think the groom walked into the Darth Vader thing, and the bride into the Jurassic Park soundtrack. Like, find out what it means something to you and use it. You don't have to walk down the aisle like Canon and D.
Yeah, I got
Sure.
Yeah, what's another unique one? We actually rented out an entire cargo ship for an event, and it was a very casual wedding. It was a same-sex couple, so they wanted something unique, and they just loved the cargo ship that they found to rent. So it's actually the one near the Iowa there. I forget what was it called. But yeah, we had a little treasure hunt on the ship, and then they had food stations, and we even had our caterer bring their whole kitchen onto the ship with the big crane and stuff. Yeah. It was really fun. That was definitely one for the books that I'll never forget. And I'm sure we've got tons of other stories. I'm trying to think of what else.
Let's see. I always love choreographed dances too, and surprise dances, whether the groom's doing it for the bride or the bride's doing it for the groom, or they do it together for everybody. Or I have seen some amazing father-daughter dances. I had a father-daughter do the whole We Don't Talk About Bruno, lead to the movie. They did it together.
Wow.
Dang, that was 2 years ago, and that was really big.
I'm sure Shawn would appreciate song mashups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely in my wheelhouse. I love a good first dance. I love when that stuff happens. The dances.
It's amazing the energy that you feel when they start busting out some choreographed moves, and it's just the vibes. It's unbeatable. And honestly, people are always like, "Oh, my wedding's gonna be so boring. There's nothing exciting going on." I was like, "You are the excitement. You are the energy. You guys and your guests. You don't realize how much of the decor and the energy is coming from the guests and from you." Yeah.
That's so honest. And I wanted to tell you real quick, I don't want to talk too much about my own thing because I like to talk to you guys, but the Jurassic Park theme remind me, I almost did that at our wedding because I'm a big Jurassic Park nerd, like dinosaur nerd. And have you guys been to Reptacular Animal Ranch up in Sylmar?
No, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, so that's where I got married, and I actually had them on the podcast a couple weeks back. And we were talking about it, and they have all these animals, and they have this camel that you can ride down the aisle. And I had talked to my now wife, and I was like, she was actually the one who suggested, she's like, should I come down on a camel to the Jurassic Park theme? And I was like, yeah, we should do that. And then we continued to talk about it, and she was like, I don't know, the dress will get there. We ended up logistically being like, let's not do this. It's a bit, it's funny, but I don't know. It could not be that great. How do I get off the camel? There was just a lot of
the camels are pretty high up there. I don't blame you from kind of mixing that. It's
I was like, let's think this through and see what we always try to say, what could the disaster be? Because anything that,
what's going to keep us off of YouTube?
Right. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So I try to beat it to the punch. Speaking of things going wrong, what's the craziest thing you've seen gone wrong? Something you were like, oh no, this is not good.
So we have quite a few stories. The one that comes to my mind first every time is this really sweet young couple. They came from a distance from Riverside to go to a spot in Long Beach, and at the rehearsal dinner, I had just gone home from rehearsal dinner, and because they had brought everything in a U-Haul to the hotel they were getting married at. And they went out to get something after the rehearsal dinner, and the trailer was gone. It was stolen. So all of
somebody stole it?
Somebody stole the trailer of all their wedding decor, their centerpieces, their chair covers, their candy station, everything was gone. And luckily she still had her dress and her bouquet because she wouldn't let that go. Thank goodness. And we had to deal with a lot of tears over the night and in the morning, kind of letting them know, we're still going to get married. They almost wanted to cancel the whole thing. And I said, no. You still have guests coming. You still have food. You still have a venue. You still have us. There's still a cake coming, that you have a bride and a groom, and you still have a marriage license. The wedding is still going, even though you don't have all the decor. And I even was telling her, don't let people know. They have no idea what it was supposed to look like. We had because the venue had a hiccup about the cameras in the parking lot, they actually pulled a bunch of their vendors. We pulled a couple of our vendors, and overnight we had new chair covers. We had actual flowers, not silk flowers. We had a candy station. We had, all sorts of stuff that got pulled together within 24 hours. And it was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. And I think they were small people, but they were also very young. I think that young couple realized that it's more about the love and what they're celebrating than about the items that are there that they created. So I think we all kind of learned some fun lessons there, but we all pulled it through, and it was beautiful. And the mom was super grateful that we were there to kind of guide them.
Yeah. That's kind of when the wedding planners also become like part therapists at this point. Like, we need to calm you down. It's going to be okay. We're
Yeah.
there.
It's gonna be okay. You're still gonna get her married. It's gonna be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mom was very into the details on that one because she was a super young bride. So there was a lot of tears. But yeah, we were definitely therapists that day.
Yeah. I mean, there's all the things that go wrong. I mean, we always help with like, I've seen such long speeches and stuff too, or, people go on for like 20 minutes, and you're just like, oh my gosh. So we always tell people like, 2 minutes or less. And if you get lost or you don't know what you're doing anymore because you have too much to drink already and you're like, how do I end this? I might just raise your glass and say cheers and everyone will follow. And so I've done it too. I've been in the back of the room and there's a drunk guy up there trying to figure out what he's saying. And he's like, I can tell he's like, I don't know what to do now. So I'm in the back of the room. I'm like, cheers. And then he's like, oh yeah. And then he wrapped up his speech. But you got to do. I mean, we've hemmed and bustled dresses with safety pins and double-sided tape if we need to. Just things that they don't get figured out, and we got to fill in some gap. That's what we do.
Yeah, on the fly. We use our emergency kit a lot, and that's what it's for.
What's in the emergency kit? Like, I just, as a side note, I'm curious. I see all the wedding planners have them. Like, what's like the main? What's in there?
Yeah,
like Mary Poppins, like pulling things out of a bag.
It's like a rolling luggage set, and a couple of the pieces unroll, and there's everything from deodorant to Advil and Tylenol to duct tape and masking tape and extension cords, and we also have a whole steamer, and I have a sound system, like a little battery powered speaker, because we actually have had a wedding where the power went out, and so we pulled that speaker out and we were able to continue the dancing battery powered until the power came back on. So you never know.
That's smart.
And we have backup equipment. There's an extra card box sitting behind us. This is our radios, which we use anyways. But we have extra decor. If something happens to your sign, or like, oh, I was supposed to bring it and I left it at home. Like, I have signage, I have cards, I have money bags, I have extra draping, I have extra flowers, I have all kinds of motives. Like, we'll just put stuff out that we have. Don't worry.
We have garters in there.
I have a garter. Yeah, exactly.
We have cake cutting sets and
so much stuff. And I always wonder what's in those bags because I see them.
Probably the scissors. So, number one tool.
Scissors. Yeah, scissors are big. Gotta have scissors.
On you.
But I always laugh because I know there's so much stuff in those bags when I see wedding planners have them, but they don't always look like huge bags. Like, it's like the amount of stuff that I'd see in like a giant suitcase, but then it's like a small bag, and they're like literally, it reminds me of like Mary Poppins, like pulling out like an umbrella from this like small bag. I'm like, what happened? How did that get there?
Totally. It fits. It all fits in there.
Yeah.
It's magic. The magic of wedding planning.
More stuff in my car that's not in the little rolling luggage, in case that like there's something bigger that we need to pull out of the car, then we will go to the trunk of wonders.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. So so that's definitely a bit of a stressful mishap that happened. But let me ask you this too. This is the one I always love, because obviously, like, I'm with you on speeches. Like, as somebody who has to MC and deal with all that, like, there's nothing worse. I don't know what your guys' record was, but there was one Father of the Bride speech that pushed 36 minutes.
Wow. I think there was like a 20-minute one, and he was pulling like, you guys get comfortable. This speech is 20 minutes long.
Oh.
And Dad paid for things, so we'll let him do it. And actually, he did a really full-rounded speech, and so actually he did fairly well considering, but like, we were aware like he was going to go on that long, and he did.
That's long. And that always makes me uncomfortable. But that's what I was going to ask is, like, speeches aside, what's the cringiest thing at weddings? Like, what's the thing you're like, oh, please don't do this. It never works. It's so uncomfortable. I hate when people do it.
I mean, we try to like knock out some of the cringy stuff before the wedding happens, but we have like worked with weddings that are what we call like the day of weddings, essentially. Like, we come into their wedding, we don't get to change their plans. We just get to know their plans and try to run them. I mean, I can give them a heads up, this is going to be weird, or do it this way, or but so I mean, things happen like when people want to do their first dance, I'm always suggesting like, do your first dance first, because everyone's staring at you, the excitement's there, everyone wants to take a picture with you, everyone wants to stare at you for 5 minutes, they all want to talk to you, so it kind of gets it all out of their system while you do the first dance right as you enter the room, and then you can sit down, and then everyone just kind of relaxes into it. And if you do, I've had a couple that did a first dance like an hour and a half later, and it was just like they were coming out of the bathroom, they were already sweaty, everyone had already talked to them already, and it was just like not a special moment anymore.
Right.
So yeah, it's important to like, let us help you make that timeline make sense. Don't go against the grain when we say we do it this way. It's usually because there's a reason. And that was there's another thing I wanted to add.
Cringeworthy things.
Oh yeah,
decor wise.
Oh no, sorry. Okay, cut off all that junk. But
Yeah.
cringeworthy stuff. So we definitely, another thing that bothers me all the time is when brides do not get their dress bustled or they don't have it altered properly and they're constantly stepping on it. They can't even walk through it. They're dragging their train or holding on to the little hanger that's supposed to be, for hanging up the dress, not for you holding it all night. We don't want to look at the underside of your dress. We want to look at your dress. So get it bustled so you can maneuver around your guests properly. Get it the right hem length so that you're not tripping on it all day. Please, you want to enjoy your event, not sit there trying to figure out how to walk across the room and being, scared to move. So that's my pet peeves.
I know. I mean, there's some visual things. We're not like the, coordinator that's going to be like, you have to cover that wall. It's really ugly. Like, you have to spend the money to do it. Otherwise, like, it's not going to work. Like, you can keep an ugly wall. It's totally fine. But like, there's things to do that, just don't mix white with ivory. Like, don't be like, they're not the same color. If you're going to go all white, go all white. If you're going to go all ivory, go all ivory. That you can't mix them up. Otherwise it looks clashy.
Yeah, the white
little
looks
things
like super bright next to the dingy, ivory. So yeah.
But yeah. Things.
Well, the little things.
Yeah. I love that timeline. That's my favorite thing too, by the way. The dances right after the entrance. I always think that's the best way to go.
Yeah. It always surprises me when people are like, oh no, we want to do it later. I'm like, no.
I don't mind if people want to do like the other dances later, like if they do like the father, daughter, mother, son. Sometimes I'm kind of like, okay, we can do that and then go into the dance party. But like your dance, like just do it. You're right there. Everybody just cheered for you.
Yeah.
Like that, what better moment? It's awkward if you just sit down.
Exactly.
It's awkward. You're like, okay, well, thanks, guys. I'm gonna sit and eat my my pasta now.
Right. And it's
always weird.
Yeah, there was one that had like a cultural thing where they like to party before dinner, and I was just like, I don't get this, And they pushed and they wanted a full hour of dancing before dinner even started, and it was fun for a little bit, but then it like there were people that were like, when is dinner? They come up to me and say, when's dinner? I said, I'm so sorry. They'll be very soon. They just wanted to get a little dancing in. It's like, and I'm apologizing to these guests because that's what the bride group did, and I'm sorry. We're getting to dinner as soon as we can, but that's, we got to do what they want,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the guests don't know. You got to go with what the clients want. So, but that's why, it's always good to like listen to people that do this all the time. Because I even when I planned my wedding, it was like I had all these ideas, and looking back on it, I mean, I wasn't even really working weddings much at that point. Now I'm like, I can't believe I thought that was ever a good idea. I've learned, but you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
So speaking of just things at weddings, so I think my question to kind of wrap this all up is, as far as the wedding day goes, what are your guys' favorite parts? And least favorite parts, like favorite and least, like what do you like, what do you don't like?
I think our favorite part, my favorite part is when we get to send the bride down the aisle, fluff her train and send her down the aisle. I just thinking about it gets me like, oh, it's just too exciting. It's too magical of a moment to be a part of. And I don't even have to know them. I'm like,
it doesn't even matter.
I like turn around and I'm like,
because there's a lot that leads to that moment, like getting the bride out of the hotel room, getting the hair and makeup done. There's a lot of effort that goes into just getting to that moment.
Right.
And that moment is like the beginning of the wedding, but it's like the middle of the day where we're finally like, here we go.
We're off. We're off.
Yeah. We did it. We got her down the aisle. That was the hard part. And then, the other favorite moment for me is just the grand entrance, which is just another culminating moment of like, they are into the reception, like, let's go. I get like, I get chills all the way down and we like to do the both doors at the same time. Each of us had a door, that's and then twin power.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's super magical. And that's I'm already getting chills in the back of my head right now from that. It's fun. But least favorite is probably just trying to get them out of the darn hotel rooms and the getting ready spot. Like, it's like, get out. Everyone get your stuff and go. Like, we're hair and makeup's done. Out, like what are you doing? To me always makes me like, I get anxiety because I'm just like waiting for that moment where they're like, out.
Right. We gotta move. We got a big day ahead of us. Come on, guys.
Yeah, time to go. When they get all particular over one little curl, I'm like, you guys don't understand that curl is not going to stay there in that way for 6 more hours. So can we just move on? It's going to do what's going to do. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my least favorite moment of the day would probably be trying to delay something because a vendor is not doing their job correctly, or trying to cover up for a vendor that's not doing their job properly. And you have to decide whether that whether the bride and groom even need to know, or if you can cover it up. But we can get away with covering things up. Like I had a couple, and the next day that she was just like, wait, I was looking at the pictures and I noticed there was no floral at the ceremony when I walked down, but I didn't notice until I looked at the pictures, and I was just like
the aisle.
Yeah, the aisle entrance. And I was like, oh yeah, I know it wasn't there because, and I was like, you want to know why it was? Okay, well, your florist was 2 hours late, and
right. But they don't know at the time.
And I started going through it. She's like, what? And I was like, so she was in the back of the other room that the venue let her have, doing the flowers while your ceremony was going on. Like
she wasn't even supposed to have that space. That's like a rentable room that we just happened to have available that she was using to put the flowers together 2 hours late. And of course she didn't make it on time.
But the bride never knew about it till the next day when she was looking back. And I was like, wait. And I was like, yeah. But I knew about that. I knew about that the whole time.
Our team actually helped finish the florist work because we put out the candelabras and lit the candles for them and all this stuff. But just because we got to get the show going, let's go,
Yeah.
We have to.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. Whatever you got to do to make it happen. And this is because you kind of mentioned this, and I'm just curious. So you guys do a lot of weddings. You see a lot of weddings. Do you guys still get emotional when you see people like get married?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Like every time. Like
me too. I'm bad at it. I'm like a sensitive Sally. My wife's like, you don't even know these people. Like a lot of times I don't meet them till the day of. I don't have like a couple month journey with them. Like I'll book it and then I'll talk to them the week of, and then we'll do the thing. And I still just like the good ones, the awkward ones, I'm like, no, I'm good. But like the good ones, I'm like, oh.
It changed after I became a mom too, because I cannot watch a father-daughter or mother-son dance. I have to go do something else. Right. Because I get like super emotional because I have a son and a daughter. I'm like, oh my gosh,
sure.
Yes, someday,
Exactly.
Yeah, it definitely hits you.
My wife will just turn to me and be like, because we work weddings together sometimes, she'll be like, you don't even know them. And I'm just like, I don't know, they're in love, it's cute.
Like come on, we cry in romantic movies. What's the difference? It's right here, living color. This is real love.
Yeah.
Especially the vows. If there's really good vows, like, and they wrote their own vows and it's really good, that gets me. I'm like, oh, that was good. And I love seeing it. That's probably my favorite part, is just the vows. I like when people write their own vows. I don't like, I think that's just really special.
The more touches you can put on it, the better. Your guests will remember that.
Yeah, and I want to say too, as having a wedding coordinator right there who's been through all that many, many times, there's certain moments where I like remind them what they're doing, and like I help them connect to what's happening, and I feel like they're surprised by it when I say things that helps them do that. And I hope that it helps them really remember the experience of getting married. Things of like, okay, you're about to walk down the aisle. Okay, so don't forget to look for Ryan and make eye contact with him. This is the first time he's going to see you. Like letting him know. Okay, and then I'll be with him and I'll be like, okay, this is your last moment as her fiance. You ready to be a husband? And he's just like, oh my God. Or, I say, try to walk them through the experience because like, this is not just like a production, this is your wedding. So and just reminding them of that and staying calm and keeping that romance and like, marking it as it goes. We're right there. So we get to help them through it.
Help them feel all the feels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's fun. That's fun. Are you guys still, I know we're a little over time here, but do you guys maintain contact with any of your clients, or is it usually do you have some that you're like, oh, these were really cool clients who we still keep in touch every once in a while?
Yeah, there's so many. I'm so grateful for social media because I can follow. Because I'm getting emotional. When a wedding's over, sometimes I'm like almost in tears. I'm like, we've worked together for a year, and now you guys are just going to go off.
Right. My kids are all grown up.
Oh, and we had a couple just celebrate their 10-year anniversary, and we were just messaging each other old pictures, like, remember? And now they have like 3 kids, and I feel like I'm slightly responsible for their happiness in marriage. So they have 3 kids. I don't know. Like they're partially, but it's an honor to be a part of everybody's wedding, and we do get to make friends. Our last bride, or one of our last couple brides this last year, on her survey to us afterwards, can we be best friends? Yes, of course.
Well, that's good. That's good because that's what you want. I mean, your vendors are going to be at your wedding. You want to like them as people, because they're going to be there. So that's good.
So many referrals from past brides. That's a great way to stay in touch too. Yeah.
Great. Well, listen, I don't really have anything else. Is there anything else you guys want to say or mention before we hop off here?
I just let's see
things to DIY. We didn't talk about that or this.
Things to DIY. I'm curious what
things not to DIY. We were making
things not to DIY. Please go ahead. Let's talk about it because I don't know.
Advice for brides. I know you're all trying to cut corners and find budget savers, but I mean, things to DIY that are fine, like favors and invitations, programs and signage and all that stuff. Maybe your officiant, we can walk him through it. Or like the rehearsal dinner, DIY some stuff there, like get pizza or, make your dinner like by hand there. But don't DIY your flowers on your wedding day, fresh flowers. Do not DIY fresh flowers. They take a lot of time and effort moving them and keeping the refrigerator fresh. And like people don't realize that's all last minute and you can't do your hair and makeup and do flowers at the same time.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And
you can't DIY your DJ. You can't DIY your catering. You can't DIY your coordination. Someone has to coordinate it. But I think that those are all the things.
And don't try and DIY your appetizers. I know it sounds really easy. You could just buy a tray of food at Costco and set it out. I was like, well, who's going to set it out? And is that really what you want it to look like?
How's it going to stay cold?
How is it going to be frozen? Yeah, refrigerated. Where am I going to be? Who's going to drop it off? Who's going to pick it up and get it here? Like, there's all these logistics that it just isn't, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's definitely good advice.
Yep.
That's definitely good advice. I like that. Anything else you guys wanted to mention? Let people know.
Yeah, I just want to, and what makes us unique as like a wedding planning company.
Yeah.
We are twins. Obviously, we have like that twin telepathy. Makes us a really great team. But we do have assistants that help us out. We have our team on radio. We can coordinate things through walls from across the venue. We can coordinate things through walls and across the venue, or even if like something is going on in the kitchen and I need the delay from the DJ, like we're fixing things as it's happening. So we're really good at like logistics, coordination, and details are so important to us. We plan out like who's taking what home, like what, when the vendors are arriving and coming. And if somebody's missing, we're already making phone calls. We have it all ready to go. Anyways,
we're more into like the logistics and the coordination versus like creating a massive decor and, if you have decor, we're more than happy to help you make it happen and, set it out or do what you need to do. But as far as like our bread and butter is logistics and coordination and just all those little details that, someone has to take care of.
Yeah. Like if you have a Pinterest picture, you're like, I want my wedding to look like this. I can tell you who you need on your team and how much that might cost to put together.
Right.
Or how you can cut corners or move decor from this place to that place and, where it's going to count and help you cut corners and be budget conscious. Like we're very into all that. So that's what we do. That makes us unique and makes us the double knot.
Yeah.
We help you tie the knot with a double knot without doing a lot. Oh, I messed it up.
No, okay. Like this. It goes, we help you tie the knot without doing a lot with the double knot.
Yeah.
I like that. That's catchy. That's a good slogan there. I love it. Yeah. So anything else you guys want to mention? Obviously we'll link to like all your guys' stuff and the socials and all that fun stuff so people know where to find you. But yeah, I mean, this has been great. I can't thank you guys enough for chatting with me. I love hearing people's stories and advice because, a lot of people don't know and they don't know all the behind the scenes stuff of what happens at weddings. Yep. And it is a journey for sure. But sometimes you won't even know until the next day when you see the pictures.
And actually, some brides to this day still have no idea what happened.
Oh yeah. I know brides and grooms that definitely don't know some stuff that went down. I'm like, we're never going to tell them. We'll just, it'll be fine. I'm sure there's stuff that happened at mine that I don't know about.
All right.
I don't want to.
And that's what I tell couples too. And they're like, I don't know, do I need a coordinator or not? I was like, well, read our 5-star reviews, 100% 5-star reviews for 15, 16 years. And just realize that next level of expert in coordination, when you look back at your wedding, all you're going to remember is, oh my God, it was amazing. Oh, you remember this amazing part. Oh, that was so much fun. If you ask anybody who didn't have a coordinator, when they look back on their wedding, they say things like, oh, it was so exhausting. Oh my God, the florist was late. And oh my God, all these things just come to them. It's all negative.
Yep.
And it's just like, which experience do you want to keep for the rest of your life?
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Boom. There's no better way to end it than right there. That's the mic drop.
So I would never do that, Shawn, just, you know.
Yeah, don't do that. That's as a person who runs the sound, please don't ever drop the mic. Last piece of advice. Don't drop the mic. Please don't drop my mic. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, thank you guys so much. We'll be in touch. You guys have a great rest of your day.
You
And
too.
yeah, thanks for doing this, and we'll let everybody know where to find you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Shawn. Have a good one. Good to see you.
You too.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Eventful Endeavors, Secrets to Crafting the Perfect Celebration. We hope to have left you with some actionable ideas for your own event. If you like the show, please subscribe and definitely leave us a review. We read every comment. So until next time, happy planning and see you soon on Eventful Endeavors.